Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air. First it was Texas, now the deadly flash flooding in New Mexico. The wall of water sweeping homes away, a soldier and his wife and 2 children. Also breaking in the Northeast, severe storms, damaging winds, and now flash flood alerts as we come on. First tonight, the deadly flash flood emergency in New Mexico now. Homes ripped off foundations, carried down the river. At least 3 people dead. And tonight, the story of that soldier, a young husband and father, and his family swept away. They found the husband and wife alive. Their 2 children did not survive. In Texas tonight, the death toll now climbing, and the chilling new video now emerging of a mother and her son climbing trees to survive. You can hear the 15-year-old son calling out for his mother.
I can climb higher, but I'm okay. Are you high? Mom, are you in a tree?
Both of them in trees, and her 2 daughters were at that girls' camp, Camp Mystic. How the family survived this. And tonight, what ABC News has now learned about the warning systems. Authorities held discussions of a flood warning system at least 20 times since 2016, most recently just months ago. Matt Gutman and what he's learned tonight. This evening in the Northeast, we're watching flood watches and severe storms on the move right now. Millions of Americans under alerts for potential flash floods and damaging winds. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia, the rain in New York City. Police racing to help drivers trapped under downed trees, thousands without power. Ginger Z is here. The heartbreaking news tonight, authorities and their new warning amid the rising number of hot car deaths involving children in this country. Tonight, a young mother now facing charges, accused of leaving her 2 sons in the car while she went to get a cosmetic procedure. The temperature outside above 100. One of the boys did not survive. The number of cases mounting tonight. Just hours after President Trump lashed out at Vladimir Putin, Putin with the largest airstrike on Ukraine since Russia invaded. Tonight, back here at home, the case of a woman paddleboarding in the Northeast, then missing, and now the coroner is calling this a homicide, where her body was found. Tonight, here the dramatic rescue, the driver unconscious after a collision with multiple cars. Officers rushing to pull the driver from the burning car. The stunning Coast Guard video tonight, 2 boys stranded at the edge of this cliff. The warning involving a popular brand of crackers tonight. And so many of you at home reacting after our interview last night in Texas. The man searching for his mother and father along that river. There is an update tonight just in from him, what we've learned now. So many of you with words of support and his new message to everyone watching tonight.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening. We are just back from Texas tonight, the hill country and the heartbreak there. We heard from so many of you at home, your thoughts with all of those families. And we begin tonight with a new tragedy here. First it was Texas, now it's New Mexico. A terrifying wall of water, a new flash flood emergency, and it's been deadly. Homes swept away, one family, a soldier and his wife, their 2 children swept away. Only the parents were found alive. The images tonight here, that powerful wall of water sweeping right through this community in New Mexico, the river rising 20 feet in just 30 minutes. At least 3 people were killed. Powerful currents ripping homes right off of their foundations. Dozens of water rescues reported. The governor in New Mexico tonight declaring a state of emergency. Meantime, in Texas, search and rescue teams now in their 6th day. The death toll there rising just as we come on tonight. At least 119 now dead and 170 people still missing, including children. And further north at this hour along the East Coast tonight, severe thunderstorms and now watches and warnings for more damaging winds and possible flash flooding. Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Philadelphia. We have it all covered tonight. Ginger Z is standing by with the forecast, and our chief national correspondent, Matt Gutman, in Texas. The son calling for his mother from a tree, and you'll see it right here. And now this new horrific tragedy in New Mexico.
A long night ahead for residents of Ruidoso, New Mexico, after a ferocious and deadly wall of water blasted through the streets. At least 3 people killed when the banks of the Rio Ruidoso River outside Albuquerque rose a record 20 feet in just 30 minutes. A young soldier and father of 2 stationed at Fort Bliss, Texas, was on vacation with his family at a campground when they were swept away in those raging floodwaters. He and his wife were found safe, but their 4-year-old daughter and their 7-year-old son did not survive.
Oh my God, they just pulled somebody out. Oh no.
This home ripped from its foundation and sent smashing downhill. Crews today combing through the debris left behind. That horror in New Mexico comes just days after those devastating floods 500 miles away in Texas. where recovery teams in Kerrville are scouring riverbeds for a 6th day. At least 170 people still unaccounted for after that catastrophic July 4th flash flood killed at least 119 people. Dispatch audio exclusively obtained by our affiliate KSAT details emergency crews' initial response to the devastating floods here.
We still have water coming up. The Guadalupe Shoemaker sign is now underwater on Highway 39. Is there any way we can send a code red out to our Hunt residents asking them to find higher ground or stay home?
Lindsay Roberson and her teenage son Jack swept from their home into those roiling waters.
The next thing I saw coming for me was a house, and I don't even know how it all happened.
Lindsay spoke to me from her hospital bed recovering from surgery.
But I went under, and it was like being in a washing machine, just flipping around under the water.
She fought to the surface, but debris also pelting her son. They were separated. Then both Jack and his mom grabbing onto trees.
There's boats and helicopters coming. What? I am. I can climb higher, but I'm okay. Are you high? Mom, are you in a tree? There's boats coming.
They weren't boats, but cars floating by. Lindsay grateful Jack was okay.
Because I don't think there's a word that describes the overwhelming, oh my God, there's my baby and he's alive. Thank God he's alive. He's alive. He's alive.
And in a remarkable turn, Lindsay's 2 daughters were at Camp Mystic, where so many little girls were lost. Like their cousins, Eloise and Georgia Jones, they survived.
It was like unlivable. And that's when we got news that people had vanished from their cabins. And that's when we realized, like, truly something was terrible happened.
We're not running. We're not going to hide from everything.
Officials here grilled about the county's lack of answers about warning systems in a region nicknamed Flash Flood Alley.
Those are important questions. We will answer those questions. I wish y'all would bear with me in that.
ABC News learning Kerr County commissioners discussed some sort of a flood warning system 20 times just since 2016. And finally, in April, authorizing a contract worth up to $73,000 to develop a system. Councilmember Ray Howard fuming.
That just blows me away. That's unfathomable that it never worked on it. This is lives. This is people's. This is families. This is heartbreaking.
And just 20 miles downriver from here in Comfort, Texas, they have sirens and test them every day at noon.
Every day at noon, that siren goes off, alerting people that the system is working.
Authorities say those sirens save lives. And back upriver tonight, we're learning more about those families lost here.
Water just started coming like super fast.
Leo Romero Jr. turns 19 today. He watched his father, stepmother, and his 2-year-old brother ripped away from their home.
I don't want to say I accepted it, but no, I thought I was going to die.
His father, Leo, remembered for having the sweetest smile. Leo's wife, Natalia, as the kindest living soul, and Carlos as a sweet little boy who loved to play, smile, and laugh.
And David, just a short time ago, Texas Governor Greg Abbott announcing a special session of the state legislature that will largely focus on flood preparation and relief. And just a reminder, Comfort, Texas, 15 miles downriver from here, it only cost them $70,000 to buy those 2 sirens there. David.
Those sirens that definitely saved lives. We know this emergency meeting is just days from now. Matt will stay on this, of course, for the people of Texas. Thank you. Tonight, we're also watching very closely a line of scattered storms north of Kerrville, where Matt was, just outside that area. And in the east at this hour, there are also damaging thunderstorms and now flash flood watches in effect from Washington, D.C., right up through Philadelphia. So let's get right back to Chief Meteorologist Ginger Z, back with us again tonight. Ginger, first Texas, of course, and you're tracking storms there again?
Yes, and they're just north of Kerr County, so you can see them on the map. We're talking about the storms 1 to 3 inches that will fall really quickly, even a flash flood warning in place for the town of Brady. You see how they're kind of sinking south? Be aware of that tonight, especially in hill country. Now, it's going to dry out Thursday and Friday before rain comes back for the weekend. Ruidoso, though, under a flood watch again at this hour because we see the futurecast moving through 8, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. That's another storm that could produce an inch or two really quickly, and that swollen river has not gone all the way down yet. Let's go to the east. Washington, D.C. is currently in a flash flood warning. We've just heard reports of trees into cars. Severe thunderstorm warnings are happening from there into Virginia. Richmond about to get hit with that line as well. Delaware, New Jersey, Philadelphia, you still have it ahead of you. We're going to get rid of this entire thing after midnight. As you can see, that severe thunderstorm watch is up, but many of these storms are moving slowly. They could produce 2 to 3 inch per hour rainfall rates, David. Level 3 out of 4 for flash flooding.
All right, watching these storms here in the east through midnight, Ginger says. And Ginger, we thank you. There's no shortage of heartbreak tonight because we move on now to authorities and their new warning amid the rising number of hot car deaths involving children in this country. Tonight, a young mother is now facing charges, accused of leaving her 2 sons in the car while she went to get a cosmetic procedure. The temperature outside above 100, and one of the boys did not survive. Here's Kayna Whitworth.
Tonight, a 20-year-old mother in California facing child abuse and manslaughter charges after allegedly leaving her 2 young sons in a 100-degree car while she had a cosmetic procedure. The 1-year-old later dying at the hospital. Their grandmother haunted by what the boys endured.
They were strapped in their car seats. They couldn't even get up to save themselves. She literally locked them in their car seats and shut the doors.
According to arrest documents, Maya Hernandez told police she left the car running with the air conditioning on when she went into a med spa. But investigators say the engine automatically turned off. Authorities say 1-year-old Amilo Gutierrez's body temperature measured 107 degrees. So far, 14 hot car deaths have been reported this year.
Hey, kitties.
Newly released body camera video shows police outside an Atlanta mall breaking into a car to rescue 2 toddlers locked inside after someone passing by called 911. Police say the real field temperature inside the car was 117 degrees.
Oh, you're hot.
And David, that California mother now being held on more than $1 million bond. Authorities think her 2 children were in that hot car with no air conditioning for nearly 90 minutes. David.
It is such an important reminder. Kayna Whitworth with us tonight. Kayna, thank you. Next tonight here, just hours after President Trump lashed out at Vladimir Putin, Putin responding with the largest airstrike on Ukraine since Russia invaded. Rachel Scott at the White House.
Just hours after President Trump railed against Vladimir Putin, saying he's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless. The Russian leader unleashing his largest aerial assault yet on Ukraine, firing more than 700 drones into the country. It comes as Trump makes it clear his patience with Putin is wearing thin.
We get a lot of thrown at us by Putin, for you want to know the truth. He's very nice all the time, but it turns out to be meaningless.
The administration now resuming weapons shipments to Ukraine, shipments the Pentagon put on pause last week. The president has insisted he didn't know who ordered the pause.
Yesterday, you said that you were not sure who ordered the munitions halted to Ukraine. Have you since been able to figure that out?
Well, I haven't thought about it because we're looking at Ukraine right now and munitions, but I have not gone into it.
President Trump today saying he's now considering sending even more weapons to Ukraine, including granting their request for another Patriot air defense system.
When you talk about a system like that, highly sophisticated, tremendous amount of money, and they're doing it because they want to prevent death. They're getting hit hard, very hard. So we're looking at it.
And David, President Trump has long praised Russian President Vladimir Putin. The question now, is this a real turning point in their relationship? Putin has not responded directly to those attacks from the president, David.
Rachel Scott at the White House for us. Rachel, thank you. Next tonight here, the case of a woman paddleboarding in Union, Maine. She went missing. Well, tonight the coroner is now calling this a homicide, and where her body was found. Here's ABC's Matt Rivers.
Tonight, the search for a suspected killer after the death of a Maine paddleboarder. The body of 48-year-old Sunshine Sunny Stewart was found under unusual circumstances in this rural area east of Augusta, according to officials familiar with the investigation. Stewart reported missing after she went out paddleboarding alone on Crawford Pond last Wednesday.
Last seen wearing a blue dry pack, a light-colored shirt. She is very experienced on the water with a paddleboard.
Police say her body was found the next morning near 100 Acre Island, which is only accessible by boat. The coroner later ruling her death a homicide. No suspects identified so far.
When you have a case where you don't know who committed this act, things that are found on her
near her, etc., may give the police some clues.
Stewart was working as a contractor and had previously been a marine biologist, lobsterman, and boat captain. Her sister saying anyone blessed to be in her presence was in awe of her. Now we have to rally and give her justice.
David, state police urging residents to remain vigilant and report suspicious behavior. David?
Matt Rivers with us tonight. Matt, thank you. When we come back here, the dramatic rescue, a driver unconscious, trapped in a burning car after a collision with multiple cars. Officers trying to get the driver out, and you'll see it here. And so many of you at home reacting after our interview last night in Texas. You'll remember the man searching for his mother and father along the river every day since the 4th of July. We've just heard from him moments ago tonight with an important update and his message to all of you at home watching tonight in a moment. Tonight, police racing to save a driver from a burning car in Sarasota, Florida. You can see the flames at the scene of a 3-car crash. Officers found one of the drivers unconscious. They cut the seatbelt, saving the driver's life before that car became fully engulfed in flames moments later. Tonight, 2 teenagers rescued from a cliff in Oregon. Take a look at this dramatic video showing the Coast Guard finding the 14-year-old boys in Rhodes End Point, pulling them into a helicopter. Officials say the teens had scaled the rocks to reach an area called God's Thumb. They called for help, realizing it was not safe to continue. When we come back tonight, this warning involving a popular brand of crackers tonight, and that update just in from a man you met last night in Texas, searching for his mom and dad every day since the 4th of July. An outpouring of support from all of you at home. To the index and a recall tonight involving a popular brand of Ritz crackers. The parent company of Ritz tonight issuing a voluntary recall of some sandwich crackers. The company saying some individually wrapped crackers may be incorrectly labeled as cheese, but may have peanut butter inside. Shoppers with peanut allergies are urged to discard any product identified in the recall, and we have more on our website for you. When we come back tonight, that determined son I interviewed last night in Texas looking for his mom and dad along that river. We have just heard from him tonight with a very personal update in a moment.